Welcome everyone to otakusandgeeks.com MA, mature audiences only, mile, however you want to pronounce it, however you want to say it. If you are under the age of 18, please leave this video right now. Be responsible. You're too young to watch this and what I'm going to be talking about. But don't worry, for those who are wondering why I didn't put 18 to confirm yes for the 18, it's because I am not going to be showing anything explicit. So if you're hoping to see any smexy content here, I'm sorry to disappoint you. I'm not going to be doing that. I do not want to be bound to the shadow realm of YouTube's algorithm. So that being said, I will be alluding to things and be saying things very vaguely and in the ways that us adults can understand. That being said, today's game we are going to be talking about is Kaiju Princess 2, which became very highly recommended after people saw my review on Taiwan Love Story. Thank you very much. And Knife Ship Nurses. If you want to recommend a visual novel game that has sexy times, please just make sure it doesn't have non-consensual science in it. I will not review anything that contains non-consensual science. See my Night Shift Nurses review if you need to know what I mean by non-consensual science. That being said, let's talk about the story of Kaiju Princess 2. And as always, I'm going to give you a brief synopsis. And we are going to be talking about story, gameplay, of course, the gameplay mechanics of the sexy times, and of course, graphics and voice acting performances and music if there are voice actors in the said game. Now, let's get started. So, here is the story overview. You are a cosmic mercenary and a chief from Earth whose life goal is to create the ultimate culinary experience. Unfortunately, you are also on a run from the Galactic Police Federation after a former companion betrayed and framed you. During a close shave with the authorities, you are saved by a literal monster. To your surprise, the monster turns into this beautiful pink haired girl who claims to have sought you out for cooking. She offers to serve as your bodyguard in exchange for a place to live and a chance to try your delicious cooking every single day. Her crushing instance and overwhelming power make it nigh impossible for you to refuse. So you have no choice but to live together with this beautiful kaiju girl you just met. And believe it or not, the story is actually pretty good. They did enough characterization here that you can get invested in it. I know there's a lot of visual novel games that just get straight to the sexy fun times. You don't really get any real backstory. Like the whole core of it is just to be a sex simulator. Here with Kaiju Princess 2, I haven't played part one, so I'm not sure how they are when it comes to the story. But I would say with part two, they have a decent story here. It has some really good, decent characterization, especially with the main character. The main character was betrayed. The main character is on a run, and now he's stuck with this kaiju that is constantly hungry. So how does the game play? Well, let's talk a little bit about the gameplay. So let's talk about the gameplay real quick. So as you can see, you have a variety of things that you can do here. Resting is very important. At the end of the day, you have action points. And just like a lot of these visual novel dating sim type of games, your action points will determine how much you can do in a day. And then you'll need to rest to refill your action points. And let's go to explore, which is the main core of the story, which is the whole point of your kaiju going to various unexplored planets to gather ingredients so chef can cook. And how you do that is that you land on the planet and you basically have to make a decision that will lead you to various routes. And there's usually a boss at the end of each planet that ties to the story. So you choose which path you want to go to. You have various ways of doing it. You have power, agility, and intelligence. Depending on what you choose, it will determine how much items you use, how much items you will receive, and then how much of her power, food energy that she uses. Because every time she does an action, it wastes her food energy, and this is what she runs off of. That's why she's constantly hungry because she needs food. So it's a pretty simple, pretty easy, depending on what level you playing it on. And I like this mechanic because it does give it a little bit of a RPG mechanic, and I actually have to strategize. And hopefully, you choose like, oh man, I hope I chose the right decision, so I can get more items. And depending on your decision, the more items you have, the more ingredients you will have, and the more beneficial it will be for your kaiju to get food to put her in the mood for a more fulfilling, satisfying sexy times, which I'll go into details with that on how that gameplay mechanic works. But when it comes to the exploration of the actual planets, it does get a little bit repetitive, but it's still fun. It's still engaging. It is something quick. As you can see, you can actually speed it up. That way, you're not having her walk slowly. And then the minute you explore like 100% of the planets, you have a couple of days before you gotta go to your next one, so you can go on vacation, or you can just keep building your relationship with your kaiju here. So now that she went on her mission, you can see that she's drained. She's not fully in the mood. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna cook. So you go to your ingredient staff so you can see how much of your items that you have there. You click cook, and then from there you can literally just mix up ingredients to make something new, or you can go into recipes of pre-made ingredients and pre-made meals that you have already made for her and just click that, and they just bring the ingredients to you as well. I have more fun just putting things together and trying to come up with new dishes for her, which actually sometimes become very satisfying for her. And you can actually feed her multiple dishes. She's that hungry. You don't just have to feed her one dish. You can feed her, I believe, up to 4 or 5 dishes, and she will eat them all. And the more she eats, the more boost, the more better her mood is. So it actually really benefits you to feed her before the sexy times because it's a play, because you'll see that her mood will be at max, and then she will be more inclined to you and more receptive to you, will be more satisfied with you because she has a full belly. And that I always found really hilarious when it comes to this kaiju. So that actually does keep in mind that cooking does take action points, but you also have a store here. And what the store does is that the store you're able to buy items that will actually assist her in the exploration and also assist you during your sexy times. Will be like either helping her be more stimulated in certain areas of her body, help you with your stamina. That way you're not, releasing too quickly, of things of that nature. So, with that being said, my friends, let's talk a little bit about the interaction here. As you can see, you can talk to her. That will help build up relationships as well, help with her mood. She gets to know you a little bit better, and that will really help your affection. You have mouth, where you can actually give her a kiss. You have hands, where you can give her a massage or do some other sexy things. And then, of course, you have the D option, where you can get your fellatio and other acts such as that. That's all I will say when it comes to that particular option. You have the cook act option, and then of course the sexy option as well. You're also able to unlock various outfits and dresses. That sense of the explicit content of those, I'm not going to go into that section, but this is the sexy time section here. I'm not going to press the button, but you can see this is really based on her level of pleasure. Obviously, the higher levels, the more sexy times and more satisfaction she will be, and you will be as well. So you have pleasure, B pleasure, C pleasure, V pleasure, A pleasure. Not going to tell you what those mean, but you can use your imagination, understand what V is. I think you know what an A is. I think you know what an M is, B, and C as well. So the more she's pleasured, the more beneficial for you. And you can use oils that you get from the store to help stimulate her. And that's pretty much the gameplay. Let's talk about the graphics. I forgot to mention one more thing about the gameplay, my friends. One really important thing. As you progress through the story, you'll be able to unlock various positions for sexy times. So in the beginning, you're literally only going to be doing one position, and the reason is that it's because of story purposes. She is actually a kaiju in human form, so she's getting used to her human form, and there's things that you have to do during sexy times to make her feel more human. The more sexy times you have with her, the more her body becomes a little bit more human, the more she really starts to feel all forms of stimulation, and then she wants you to try various positions and things of that nature. So keep that in mind. Know the game does not just have one position. There's various positions in there. You have to keep playing the game to unlock them. That being said, let's talk about the graphics here. And I had no issue with the graphics as well. The graphics are pretty standard for what you expect from a visual novel game of this. They're using the live 2D engine to make sure that the mouths are moving. They're using that engine to make sure that Our characters have more expressions, and even in this little chibi art style when it comes to the actual exploration of the planets. I thought that was a clever way, and it also gives you a break from the monotony of her boobs bouncing all the damn time. So I thought they did a really good job of blending two various art styles to give you a unique experience. When it comes to the actual visual novel itself, the UI is very easy to navigate. I thought the use of the pink and the text works. The pink and white text works very well. It was very pleasant on the eyes. It doesn't hurt the eyes. Very easy to read as well. And I thought it was pretty good. And you're probably wondering, how does the game during graphically during sexy times? Is there any frame rate drops? No frame rate drops I encountered. One cool thing I will say about the sexy times is that they have this X-ray feature where as the sexy times is happening, like on the left side of the screen, it's just like a little small little box, but you get actually see what it looked like, how the action's looking inside of the girl, which I thought was very detailed. I was like, wow, you guys went all out with this, and I thought it was pretty cool. So pretty nice when it comes to the graphics of this actual game. So let's talk a little bit about the music and sound. Here's a brief clip of the voice acting.
いいですよ。私もっと仲良くなって離れたくなくなるくらいイチャイチャして私の専属シェフになってくださいね。はい、知ってますよ。それが何か？でっかい獲物をゲットして楽しい一日が始まりますよ。
Voice acting wise, it's honestly nothing to scream to the top of the hills. Greatest voice acting performance of all visual novels. It's serviceable. It's something that you have seen before. It's not nothing new, especially if you consider yourself an otaku or someone who plays a lot of these anime games, visual novel games, and things of that nature. The performances are something that you will have experienced in other VN games, especially with this type of kaiju character. It is a fish out of water story, but that's not saying that the voice acting wasn't good. The voice acting does its job. You really do feel the performances of all the actresses in here, and they embody their characters very well. So the voice acting is actually really good in this. When it comes to the music is, unfortunately, I would say the weakest part of it, which just feels like a very generic visual novel type of soundtrack that we are all used to seeing. It does get repetitive, and unfortunately for me, wasn't really a huge fan of the musical choices in this. So that will probably be the only part I was like, ugh, I'm getting tired of hearing the song and things of that nature. I wish they actually will incorporate a little bit more different soundtracks when it comes to visual novels, especially for like different scenarios and different scenes. But it is serviceable, is what you expect. A nice, easy to listen to, some lo-fi type of beats and things of that nature that you'll expect from a visual novel. So let us wrap this up and let's get into my final rating and conclusion of this. Kaiju Princess 2, as you know, we do either buy it, wait for sale, or skip it. I'm gonna give this one a buy it. I had fun with this. I like the story most importantly of all. I like the fact that this guy was being chased by this Galactic Federation, and then he runs into this kaiju who basically knows that he's a chef and you will cook for me and constantly cook for me, and in exchange, I will protect you from the Galactic Federation. It's a really cute story. It's fun. Gameplay wise, it does get a little bit repetitive, but the sexy times and the able to unlock certain things, it's tasteful. It's tasteful. There's nothing smutty about this particular one. It's a fun game. There's consensual sexy times throughout this. Even there's one moment with a robot where you actually ask for consent, which is pretty cool as well. I'm gonna give this a buy it. Pretty fun game, and it's only costs like 17.99, so it's not too bad. It'll take you, I would say, at least if you're playing it all the way through, I will say I'll give it. I think it took me 10 to 12 hours. That's because I was just really exploring and just constantly trying to find, just playing with the ingredients over and over. And the cooking mechanics is pretty cool as well. But overall, I'm going to give this a buy it. This is Justin from otakusandgeeks.com. Thank you for watching Otakus and Geeks, mature audiences only. What did you think of Kaiju Princess 2? Did you pick it up? Comment below, let me know. What did you think of the gameplay mechanics? What did you think of the story? What did you think of the sexy time mechanics? Let's talk about it in the comment section. If you like what we do here, hopefully we earned your subscription today. Will you please hit that subscribe button and like button? Will help out the channel tremendously. I have more stuff on the way. Give me some recommendations when it comes to visual novels such as this. I will be reviewing them. Just keep in mind, I do not want any visual novels that have non-consensual science. I will absolutely never review those again. I didn't expect night shift nurses to have that. No non-consensual science visual novel games, please. Let me know which ones I should review next that are coming out, or I should keep my eye on, or that's in the passage you want me to just get my thoughts on this one. Also, if you are now joining us, one more shameless plug. Please check out our Women of Anime playlist, which we go a deep dive of some of our favorite female anime characters. UWL, of course, for my WWE wrestling fans out there. We have a universe mode. Completely want to thank everybody for all that. This is actually our last video of the year. So happy new year to you all. I will see you in 2025 later date.